Hey guys, this is just a quick clip. Obviously, the full podcast is out, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your shows. There will be more YouTube content coming, though, this week. We have a really cool interview with Matt Law. We'll have a Manchester United preview. So go ahead and smash, you need to smash that subscribe button. Like our videos. The more engagement we get, the more videos we'll do. It's really helped us out. Now we're 15K. Really. So yes, do that and you'll make me happy.
We kind of mentioned in the beginning, but this whole seesaw approach is really interesting that it took some really unique responses to a West Brom game where Chelsea have to come back from going down, Southampton, where we show the ability to score with a level of ferocity, which is appreciated. The Southampton match where we also showed again that we can score. And now we flip to this game, and really it was only Christian Pulisic who put a shot anywhere near David De Gea for the day and didn't even really bother him, which, I think it almost feels like we've indexed too far to the defensive side. And I guess when you've given up the 9 goals in in a significant period of time. Now I think Liverpool is the team with the most goals conceded this season, just barely ahead of some of the other teams that are typically in your top 6. But it's so hard to watch, Nick, this team trying to almost struggle to find an identity. And I think what made it even worse is that we were going up against a side that was trying to find their form the same way. And so maybe this wouldn't have been as almost turgid as times as a match, but it also came against the Manchester United side that was also struggling for their identity, wanted to stop conceding goals, and were happy to do almost the exact same thing that we were doing for the majority of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you break this down in the most simple of terms, neither team wanted to lose this game. And you could obviously look at the stats that Brandon pulled up earlier, shots and shots on target. Clearly, United had more opportunities, although you could, with the saves, you'd question the, maybe accuracy of the opportunities. But, yeah, I mean, this was not a good offensive performance from Chelsea today. Talk about the formation here in a minute, but just from a pure passing and moving the ball upfield perspective, Brandon, there was nothing doing, really. The team couldn't figure out how to play through the middle. They couldn't figure out how to play through the wings for a large majority of the game. There were a couple of periods of Chelsea possession dominance where we were in or around Manchester United's final third for extended periods of time, which were better, but not super convincing, if I'm honest. And, I think Lampard looked at this game as you can't lose it, and if you sneak a win, better.
Definitely going for a more defensive approach. I think he must be tired conceding so many goals in a match, right? I think he's finally said, okay, you know what? This needs to be addressed. We're going to have a mentality shift, a tactical philosophy change in this team, and it's going to come at a cost. I think what a lot of people online were looking for, a silver lining, saying, well, it's much easier to score with a rock solid backline than it is to kind of clean up goals with a leaky backline if you're scoring. So I would like to think that as we continue to throw around the pragmatic word about Lampard, and if he can be pragmatic in these situations, this is probably a step in that direction if you want to look at it that way. So again, I think there was a conscious decision they made. I thought that the midfield did a good job of breaking United's press and then finding the switch. I felt like N'Golo Kante, Jorginho were able to find Chilwell or James on the opposite flanks, and then we're able to kind of run at them. But again, it wasn't as effective, I think, going forward, but that was part of the game plan. So, look, the defense worked. Mendy worked. All right. Squawk of Football tweeting, Edouard Mendy is the first Chelsea goalkeeper to keep a clean sheet in each of his first 2 league starts for the club since one Petr Cech in 2004, following in the footsteps of a club legend, and a teammate, wink face, because yes, Petr Cech is on the 25-man Premier League squad, which was wild for me, and I still don't think I've comprehended it. And then William Hill Betting had that Edouard Mendy has kept 3 consecutive clean sheets for Chelsea against Crystal Palace, Sevilla, and Man United. Eric Lamela is the only player to score against him, which hurts my heart for a lot of reasons because I don't like him as a footballer. Don't know him as a person, but he's a bit of a mug on the pitch. So, look, I think a quick praise for Mendy. Naz, he's brought in a lot of confidence until he almost passed the ball into his own net yesterday. But overall, you look at like his FIFA score only being a 77, and Reed Shoup asked me on Discord, he's like, is Mendy a good goalkeeper, or are we just overhyping him because of how poor Kepa's been? And I think that he's an adequate goalkeeper, right? I think he's a good goalkeeper. He's not world class or phenomenal or anything like that, but that just shows you kind of what we'd been missing, I think, so far.
Yeah, well, you've got to remember, I think, he's been overhyped, and you've got to remember that the bar was set so low with Kepa, and I really feel bad saying that because I know he's a good guy, he's very professional, he wants to do well, and he is a good goalkeeper, or has been in the past, but the bar was set so low after last season that, Edouard Mendy, really had quite an easy run really coming into this team. And actually, the Man United game was probably the moment so far. I think that, people have been over-celebrating a lot of his actions in goal so far this season. But against Man United, that save from Rashford right at the end, I mean, even the one that, Rashford was through on goal and he saved it with his legs, I thought both of those saves were absolutely fantastic, especially the one in the 88th minute, I think it was, far post. Not many keepers would have reached that. He read it really well. I think that certainly, with Kepa's save percentage, what it was last season, the second lowest up to recorded, since they started taking the data of save percentages, I think he would have struggled to save that. So, certainly, you could say that it was a point earned from Mendy, and also, Thiago Silva as well as a sensational block on Cavani, and generally just a good performance from him too. So definitely a positive start. He's not world class yet, but that's why players come to Chelsea. They come to Chelsea to become world class, and he's arrived on that path just like Kai Havertz has. He might be much older than Kai Havertz, but as a goalkeeper, you can still improve well into your 30s. You could maybe reach your peak at 35. So, that's maybe what we will see with Mendy, really. And I think that experiencing it at this level, he's just so happy to be here as well, because he was unemployed 6 years ago. We spoke to him before the game and he came across so well, the mentality of him. He's not scared to put himself in the spotlight, a lot of charisma, a lot of personality. Frank likes those kind of characters. He's a big character. Czech mentioned his character when they signed him as well. So that's been a big part of it. And when you look at Kepa, he's got everything, but maybe not the character. The character that you get tested with becoming a Chelsea player, the level of scrutiny we're providing on these players right at this very moment is something that can be hard to deal with when you've had an awful performance. So you need that, and you need to fall back on that in tough moments. And Chelsea needed Mendy against Man United, and he stepped up and he did the job, and that was a massive part of it. And maybe it's a good thing for Chelsea fans to see a goalkeeper actually earn a point for the team, because Kepa's rarely done it, unfortunately, and that I include even the Sarri era where he was much better than he has been under Frank Lampard.
It's been very interesting, and I think it's refreshing. It would be the way that I would describe getting to watch Mendy in goal, someone who just, Brandon enjoys when Nick and I make comments about goalkeepers and what we like about their performance.
Loves it.
Because, but no, I mean, I think the coming out on Rashford and the block with the foot early into the match was fantastic. I think that was such a great initial save and got us super amped, super hyped for what he did. And I would agree with the assessment that he absolutely earned Chelsea the point, because if another keeper, whether it was Kepa, whether it was Willie, either of our two other keepers, I'm not going to include Petr Cech in that because I still think we will not see him play this season, even though Brandon disagrees, that it was a point earned. And otherwise, we probably would have lost this game. And so, I think in that regard, Nick, Mendy for me gets, it definitely was my man in the match, just heads and tails above everybody, not just in physical stature, but his performance for the day.
I mean, that counterattacking chance that Rashford has is 100% a goal. if Kepa is between the sticks. I mean, it just is. That kick save, that reaction save was beautiful. I would agree with Naz that the 88th minute goal is likely in as well. And again, we had a group chat with Mike Ryan going, and he pointed out a goalkeeper that can win you a point is valuable, right? Like it's, it takes everybody in a season like this. So I'm really happy for him. He looks really confident, except for the one, kind of heart in mouth type of performance or a back pass to Thiago Silva that went dangerously close to the back of the net. That was difficult, but after that, he really turned it on, and maybe that speaks to his character, right? Because he almost had a incredibly dire screw up and came back and was firing on all cylinders after that.